Welcome to this week's energy forecast for the 27th of August to the 2nd of September. So I'm a day late because I normally have these on Sundays, but this week I was in Christchurch doing some work. So we just decided it's ready to put it out there and put it into fruition now. So I'm back home in Picton, the sunny Marlborough Sounds, and just recalibrating my energy because I'm feeling like I just need my body. I need to allow my body to be. So what is happening for this week ahead as we start to feel and move into the energy of September? So first, I do want to note here in New Zealand, Winston Peters could be the kingmaker again. And I know last week I said that this is an Indigenous person, and I actually spoke and said it could be Winston Peters. I see him on a platform speaking. I think we're going to see him in the next coming days and next coming weeks, really using his voice for the controversial conversations that need to happen. There are many things politically right now shifting and taking space and making movement in our political arena. And I don't think and I don't feel goosebumps, truth bumps, goosebumps are truth bumps. And I don't honestly think the politicians are out of the woods for scandal, for, the unraveling of their political parties, their conversations. There's a lot of big promises, but whether they can deliver on them is another story. And I know many people have said, about voting this year, and that's been a big conversation as we're starting to see little minor parties gathering momentum, which I think is kind of cool. There is this year and the next election, even if we get to the polling booths this election, a call to vote from heart sovereignty, from our heart consciousness, rather from us being limited in our choices. Heart consciousness and voting from our heart, we probably wouldn't be voting the Muppets that are sitting in the beehive right now. Reality. A lot of us vote from our conditioning, what our parents have voted for, and we continually just keep voting for it, thinking that things will change, but nothing really changes. It's the same monkey, just in a different suit, and puppeteer, where strings are being pulled by someone else further abroad. If we all sat down and voted from what connected to our heart and what type of New Zealand we wanted to live in, it would be very much a different conversation to what we're currently seeing right now. I just needed to share that. I'm not telling anyone who to vote for, but when you, and over the next couple of months, start to think about not the limits and the fear of, if I vote, if this person gives me an extra $10, start to think about what are we wanting to co-create in this country as we move into the new earth vibration. Is it the current status quo that actually is never good enough? Or is it going to be trusting and leading from a heart space in order to govern New Zealand in a different manner? New Zealand is the first country in the world. Shit, this wasn't what I was thinking I was going to say. New Zealand is the first country in the world that sees the light, the actual sun. And I've always said New Zealand will be the first country that brings the light. So we have an opportunity here for some massive soul growth as a country and being able to lead the world, lead the rest of the world moving forward. Didn't think that was going to say what I was going to say, but here we are. Never is what I think it's going to say. Okay, so this week ahead, we have a super full moon. And this super full moon has been, I think it's 3 or 4 in a row of supermoon energies. Supermoon energies always bring forward a shift in our consciousness, a shift in our vibration. So when I say a shift in our consciousness, a shift in our thinking, us maybe being able to see something different, the light is shining brightly on something different that we need to shift. And this is a shift in our individual collective consciousness, but also what Spirit's saying to me, it's a shift in our collective consciousness and individual consciousness as a whole. So it's going to be really interesting, the energy that's going to flow through around that. We're going to start to see the more conversations around truth and justice, the balance, the you know, the scales coming into fruition. And this is very much going to start to really roll into a deeper conversation by mid-September. In the Western world, and I know we're part of the Western world, but the Northern Hemisphere, I want to go England. I actually want to say Ireland. Didn't think I'd say Ireland, but I actually want to say Ireland. England, Ireland, America, Canada. There's going to be another conversation in regards to health and well-being and medical. They might be looking very strongly around revisiting some of their health responses that they've had over the last 2 to 3 years. It's going to be quite fascinating to see how the people respond and whether there are more people willing, because we all have free will, willing to choose something differently. I also want to say blood. I don't know if this is in New Zealand or is in general conversations. Blood. There's going to be something this week around blood and antibodies. I think it could be information coming forward. Yeah, it's information coming forward. It's information coming forward is what I'm just being told. So let's see what the cards are going to tell me now, because this is going to be fascinating. We're going to use, for the last time, Oracle of Delphi by Susie Cherub. I love these cards. These are one of my favorite sets of cards. So let's see what the collective is going on for the collective. Oh, I want to say this too. You know, as we're becoming more programmed around climate change, we're going to start to see the narrative come forward around wildfires here in New Zealand. That's going to be an interesting conversation. So, you know, there's a difference between wildfires and DEW. That was last week, so I'm just going to try that again. And this week, you're really going to have to start to ground as energy becomes more heightened. Is that the card that I need, or is there another card? Another card I've just been told. That card. Ooh. Oh, yeah, this is so true. The first card, there's a lot going on in the collective. There is a lot going on when we think about what's happening in America, Trump, you know, going to court, and how that is just escalating more and more supporters for him. You know, I want to say this. Trump is an activation Trump is an activation in the collective for us to start to see things differently and start to see a different narrative. I do feel that as a whole, it's a frigging clown show. It's a clown show, and it's an absolute, it's just laughable. And we're very much being painted an illusion by mass programming. I'm just going to say that. But it needs to happen in order for more people to wake up. These two cards are together. So these two cards correlate together. So I'm just feeling into this card because this card's kind of also Trump. But all of that will make sense as we move into the eclipse energy for October. And he actually wants to go to court too. Let's just say it for what it is. Trump wants to go to court so then he can start to release more, so he can start to release more knowledge, more papers, more things that will create more people having a deeper understanding. And that's what I mean by it's a clown show. But there will be a distraction in the collective to take people's focus off it. But I think that's coming mid-September. This card's got two elements to it. So the first page is called theatre, right? And I feel like you're being asked to take off your mask. You're being asked to take off the illusion of the identity, the need, the want, the, keeping up with the Joneses in order to start to live in harmony with self, aligned more to soul. And that's really what we're here learning right now. How can I align more to soul? This is about being co-creating and being more content with soul rather than the need to keep, clogging up your day, fulfilling, doing things that aren't actually serving you long term. This card also is around everything outside of us in the world is a governed, I actually want to say mastermind plan, Truman Show. And this is about us needing to step into, what we feel, what we see, and discern, and remembering that if we sit truly embodied in our soul, in ourself, we can discern truth from reality. We can trust ourselves because we are an oracle, and our vessel, our body, is giving us feedback consistently in order for us to discern truth from reality, knowing from the illusion. And I feel like this is about you being asked to lead more from your heart, lead more from that space of knowing, from intuition, because it says lead, ask, listen, and trust. So don't worry that you might not have all the working elements right now. Trust what you feel. Take small baby steps into what you're wanting to co-create rather than thinking it's this massive jump. Take baby steps and becoming more aligned with that energy, more aligned with that knowing, more aligned with what you feel. The light codes that will be coming into the earth plane in the next week and a bit is what I'm being told. There will be a lot of people receiving content, downloads about visions, dream space, about things that they need to action or things that they need to change. I think that's all I want to say today. That's all I want to say. So have a great day, and I'll see you next week. Oh, September. Oh, baby, September's going to be good too.